Do you identify as an empath or a healer or just someone who just feels really deeply for their clients, that connection with their clients? And so part of the reason why I feel so called to help the heart-led women build their business is because I see your massive gifts, and I know that the world needs them right now. Would everyone agree that the world needs a little bit of extra TLC right now? That people are looking for ways to support themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, in their relationships more than ever right now. And I know that you have these unique gifts and you have this magic to share with others, right? But just because you have amazing products or services does not mean that you have had the training around marketing your business. And there's a lot of misinformation and trainings out there. It can be really confusing. It can be very overwhelming. Let me know down below if you feel a little bit confused or a little bit overwhelmed by all the things, or if you're trying all of the things and it's feeling uncomfortable, or it feels slimy or pushy or salesy, or it just doesn't feel authentic to you as a heart-led entrepreneur, as an empath who feels. And so this is why I want to show you guys a different way to stand out from the crowd and to get your unique life messages heard by those that you are meant to serve, okay? So an important aspect of standing out from the crowd and attracting those ideal clients is creating a magnetic marketing strategy that positions you as the expert in helping a certain group of people with a certain problem. And on the surface, you may be familiar with the importance of choosing a niche, but you may be feeling resistance to doing that. And I totally get that. Let me know down below if you are feeling some of that resistance, because I fought this for such a long time, you guys. And that's why I want to just bring some nuggets to you today in a new perspective. And so before we do that, I'm just going to quickly explain what a niche is for those who have not heard the term. And just give me a 1 down below if you've heard the term niche and you have a niche. And if you do have a niche, let me know what it is down below, okay? Give me a 2 if you've heard it, you've heard the term, but you're having a hard time defining it. Can't quite figure out what it is. You can't put your finger on what it is. You like to do a lot of different things. Maybe you're just confused right now about which direction you want to move in. And give me a 3 if you're like, what the heck are you talking about, Ali? I don't even know what a niche is. And that is totally okay too. I didn't know what it was either. So no judgment here. We're here to learn, right? So your niche is really your area of expertise, of specialty, that you create all of your marketing and branding messages around. And it is really what allows your unique message to be heard and to stand out amongst the busy crowd, the busy market. Because when we have deep clarity on who you really are, who are you? What is your life purpose? What do you really want to do? Who do you really want to just serve, at the core? And what problems directly do you want to help those people with? That is when we can speak directly to their specific struggles and their desires. And that is when we can create that marketing that really just attracts those people to you. And when we can get really clear on who those soulmate clients are. And the best example that I can give is really in medicine. When you have a specific problem, let's say you have a broken leg, you're going to go to the orthopedic doctor who specializes in that versus the primary care doctor who gives general advice, right? And so I'm a big believer that your business is an extension of your soul's purpose, and that your niche is simply a way to get clear on what your own unique life messages are, who you want to deliver them to, what problem you want to solve, who you want to solve them for. And so in business, it's really the same as medicine, in that people are going to seek help from someone who specializes in the problem that they have, and they will pay for the solutions to improve their life in some way. People will pay for solutions. And so, regardless of how great your products or services are, people are not going to take action to work with you unless your marketing speaks to them directly and to the problem that they have. And it demonstrates that you understand their exact problem instead of marketing in a very general way. And so that is why, this is where this kind of comes up, this idea of having a specialty or having a niche, because when we try to speak to everybody, we're really speaking to nobody, right? So let me know as you guys are coming in, what is it that you do? Do you have a niche? Are you trying to figure out what it is? Facebook is, I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing the comments here, but that's okay. We're gonna keep rolling. So let's dive in. I'm going to talk about the top reasons why I have found heart-based entrepreneurs have a tough time niching and what you can do right now to shift this, to make this easier for you. Let me know down below if you would like this whole process to just be easier for you. So Michelle says, I help women release sticky weight by helping them get rid of cravings. Yep, Michelle, you do an amazing job at that too. I love Michelle. Check Michelle out, you guys. If you have sticky pounds that you want to get rid of, she's your gal. Okay, so number one, the first reason that we have a hard time choosing a niche is because we know that what we are doing can help so many people. And it can, you guys, no question about it. The services and products that you're offering are transformational. But just because we can help everyone doesn't mean that we should if we aren't excited about it. And not only that, but when we have marketing messages that are confusing because we're trying to speak to everyone, then no one really hears us. And so we wind up not helping as many people as we potentially could be. So it's kind of the opposite. It's like we don't want a niche because we want to help all the people, but because we are not choosing that specialty, we're not helping as many people as we can because they just don't hear the messaging. Does that make sense? When I first realized that, I was like, okay, mind blown. This pattern is called the Mother Teresa syndrome. Have you guys heard this before? Let me know down below if you can relate to this pattern, okay? The Mother Teresa pattern causes us to feel like if we niche, if we specialize, we're going to be leaving the others behind. And they're not going to get the help that they need. And I know I was stuck in this pattern in a massive way. I felt really guilty for not wanting to work with people who were not my ideal clients, just simply because they were draining, they were exhausting. I wasn't looking forward to those sessions, but I felt guilty, like, well, if I don't help them, who is going to? And this was really based in an old pattern of people pleasing and making sure that everyone else was okay first, shutting down what my desires were, right? Not wanting to let anyone down. And what happens in the Mother Teresa pattern is that we usually wind up creating offers. Let me know if you're guilty of this. Creating offers or programs or services based on what we think others will need or want, not what we actually want, okay? We may wind up working with just anyone who has a heartbeat and not having any boundaries or standards around who are the perfect clients for us, because we don't want to let anyone down, even if it means that we wind up exhausted and burnt out and not enjoying the work, not enjoying what we're doing, not waking up every day feeling excited and inspired. Let me know, some of you may be feeling that way now, okay? So one of the shifts that we have to make is to first acknowledge this, right? And then we have to let go of this idea that it is our responsibility to do it all for everyone all the time and have it on our shoulders and save the world. Our number one responsibility, I believe, and what truly makes you magnetic to the right types of people, is to show up and be authentic in your own life purpose show up from a place of service to those who we are meant to serve right now, who we're feeling called to help right now, to be authentic about what it is that we truly desire. And niching down for those who have this pattern, this Mother Teresa pattern, can really be a very empowering process. It can be the first step in honoring your own true desires, maybe even for the first time, putting yourself first once and for all, so that you can build a business that truly excites you, that's based in inspiration and your own unique gifts and your own message and what it is that you want to say and how it is that you want to say it and who it is that you want to say it to, instead of niching out of fear or scarcity or guilt or because you think you should be, right? And that is a very common mistake when people start to niche. I'll talk about that in a second, is that they niche based on their experience or what they think they should be doing versus what am I really excited about right now, even if it scares me a little bit, right? Let me know if you're in that stage right now where you're feeling like you want to go in one direction, but you're just afraid. You have all the what ifs in your head. What if it doesn't work out? What if people don't listen to me? That is a very, very common process that I take people through and help people through. And let me know down below, who are your dream people? Who would you ideally love to work with if you knew that success was guaranteed? If you didn't have all the voices of doubt in your head about why it's not going to work, or maybe I'm not qualified, or who's going to listen to me. If you just took that all out of the equation, right, the sabotaging patterns, and you just went with what is feeling really good to me right now, what's exciting to me right now, even though I'm afraid. But if success were guaranteed, what direction would you move in? Who would you be working with? Let me know down below. Okay, so number 2. The next fear is, what if I choose the wrong niche? And then I want to change my mind and it's too late. I know that this is definitely something that I went through. This is a very common one. Being afraid to make a mistake or to mess up. I know when I first started to niche, this was a big one. I felt like this was the biggest life decision ever, you guys. And in retrospect, I'm just kind of laughing at it because I was so afraid, like this is this massive decision, right? And not to downplay it, it is a big decision, right? But I had all these voices in my head of what if I screw up? What if I want to switch and then I look like a flaky flip-flopper and nobody takes me seriously, right? And this was really making decisions from a disempowered place of fear, okay? And very often we get into these patterns, especially when we're stepping up into our next level of growth and we're moving out of our comfort zone. We're moving into a place that we've not been before. All of the fear-based thinking and patterns start to kick in. And sometimes we start to make decisions from this disempowered place. And so I know that I was making it from a place of fear and how are people going to perceive me instead of making decisions from a space of trust and flow and connecting with my own intuition, right? And I was also listening to other people, experts, gurus, about what would be best for me instead of really tapping into where my heart was calling, where my soul was calling me. And so I chose a niche when I first started to think about doing this based on what I had been doing for a long time and what was in my comfort zone instead of what I was excited about. Against my own intuition, I went in a different direction, built a whole business structure, spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars just to realize that I wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing, right? So I did the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario being, what if I screw up? What if I take the wrong path? Guess what, guys? I changed course. I got on the right path. I learned what I did want. I learned what I didn't want. I learned exactly who I want to work with and who I don't. I learned what tools I wanted to use in my business and which ones I didn't. And it's just so important to know if you are in this position right now where you are feeling fear around what if I take the wrong path. I'm talking to you specifically, okay? There are no wrong paths. There are no screw-ups. There are only lessons that we learn from the paths that lead us down in a different direction. And you know what, guys? When I started to really implement the tools that I've been using for the last 21 years that I had just sort of put aside temporarily, when I started to use those tools and really started to get connected with my own intuition and follow my own heart and go through this process that I have now created for others to go through, my business exploded. This year has been my biggest financial year in some time because I am niched to where my heart is calling to me right now. I'm excited, I'm fulfilled, I'm energized. Can you tell I'm energized and lit up? And guess what? If I change my mind in, a year, which I don't think I'm going to, but if I do, that's okay. I can do that. It's my business. There is no wrong path. And I just really want you guys to know that. And the right path is the one that you are most excited about, even if you're afraid, because that energy and that excitement is what makes you magnetic to your soulmate clients. And in business, you guys, energy is everything, okay? So in my program, Selling From Your Soul, I have a step-by-step process that's really different than anything else that I've seen in the niche space. If you guys are in my program or in my free group, drop it down below. Let me know. I want to say hi to you, but let me know what this process has done for you if you are working with me currently. And so what this process does is to really help you to hone in on the perfect niche for you, to give yourself permission to just start with a blank slate and design what it is that you really want right now. Okay? And so the third thing is, let me know if you can relate to this, being afraid to be put in a box or to be restricted. And I know that especially as spiritual entrepreneurs, especially as healers and coaches, we have so many different tools and modalities and products and things that excite us. And sometimes we think we're going to have to choose, and it's like, for those of you who have kids, or any of you have kids out there, it's like, how would I choose between my kids? I can't. I love them both equally. That's how our tools and our modalities and our services feel to us. And so when we think about niching, we think we're going to have to choose, and we immediately shut down. Like, I'm not going to choose, right? But here's the thing, you guys. Here's one of the biggest misconceptions and myths that I see around niching. Niching has nothing to do with what services or products you sell, okay? This is where the myths come in. People will say, my niche is Reiki, or my niche is nutrition, or my niche is fitness, and they think they have to choose just to do nutrition, or just to do fitness, or just to do Reiki, or whatever it is, okay? But your niche doesn't dictate how you help people. It doesn't dictate the tools and services and modalities that you love. It dictates the marketing messages that you are directing to your dream clients to let them know that you can help them with a specific problem, okay? And that you have a buffet of services, a buffet of ways to help them with that specific problem. So it's just about, who do I want to help and what problem do I want to solve? And then how I solve that is totally up to me. And that can change, and that can be all of the things that you love. It's just getting specific and clear about who you want to help and what you want to help them with. So for instance, my niche is working with entrepreneurs. Now, before I niched into working with entrepreneurs, I was just working with women in general, in holistic healing and Reiki, mindfulness, meditation, all of these spiritual and personal development tools. But I found that I just really loved working with the entrepreneurs. And I combined my business background and my love for business and all things marketing and sales and doing that in an authentic way, I combined it with all the spiritual tools that I love. So I didn't have to get rid of anything. It's just that my niche is clear to who it is that I want to talk to and how I want to help them. So I can help them, and I can use tools like mindset and mindfulness and how to connect to your intuition and your life purpose. But then I can also talk about marketing strategy and writing powerful content and using Facebook Live, because these are all things I love, and I don't have to give them up just because I'm choosing a set of people that I want to specialize and work with, okay? So it's not meant to restrict you. Nothing changes about what you are actually doing with your client, and this is so important. The niche is simply meant to let someone know that you specialize in helping them, regardless of how, right? And so what I help people to do in my Selling from Your Soul Abundance Academy is to tie together the services that you do under one umbrella mission and create those messages that are going to allow you to speak directly from your soul to the soul of your ideal client who is searching for solutions right now that you provide. And this is going to really help you to increase your sales conversions. And we really go through how to do it in a way that is totally authentic, not slimy, not pushy, not about slamming somebody into something that they don't need, but just about holding space for somebody to make an empowered decision to step into transformation with you. And so we really dive deep into this because I realized, guys, from my own experience and just working with so many entrepreneurs, that niching isn't something that you just do overnight, okay? And when we try to just slap a niche on what we do, this is when we wind up really going down a path that maybe isn't going to serve us. It's something that requires a bit of soul searching, right? And I have this process to guide you through this because, everything really starts here. The creation of your business, your mission, everything starts with this at the core of who you are and who you desire to work with and what are your unique life messages. And when we get this right, everything is built from there. And suddenly, it's like freedom, you guys. You're reaching your ideal clients. You're reaching them in a new way. They're hearing your message loud and clear. We get specific not only about who do I want to work with, but who don't I want to work with? How do I create marketing messages that would actually repel people who I don't want to work with, right? So if you guys are struggling with this and looking for more clarity and confidence around how you build your business and position it in a way that's totally authentic and unique, I'd love to connect. My group link is up at the top where you can join me in my private group, Karma Sisters and Heart-Based Entrepreneurs, where we just talk everything about starting and growing a business from a strategy side and a marketing sales side, also from a mindset and an energetic side. We basically weave together this secret sauce to building a thriving business. I share with you all my tips and tricks. And I've also put up in the post a free meditation. It's an abundance meditation that I created for you. An abundance meditation and energy clearing for limiting beliefs and blocks so that you can just really get into the right energetic space to call in those ideal clients. My inbox is always open for you guys. I thank you so much for watching my very first Facebook Live in this amazing group. And I had so much fun, you guys. I can't wait to do this again. Reach out if you guys have any questions. If you're watching the replay, drop down below any questions. I will be going back through them and answering those for you. Take care, guys.